points. All right, let's start with a little movement with the racket, and this time just start in the midsection. So if you keep your racket in front of you, your arms about in a 90-degree angle, and then on your own pace, start going from left to right. And if you want to add like a little pump, like sometimes people like to go like 1, 2, have a little extra stretch on each side, that's fine. Just make sure there's a little hold there every time. So it's a rotation and a little stretch at the end. And start moving your head as well. So when you go to right, look over your right shoulder. When you go to left, look over your left. So we get that neck as well warmed up a little bit. And I feel personally when I do these kind of things, I really want to shift weight from one foot to another. So I'm also getting more on my toes with one foot with the rotation, so it doesn't get to my knees. So make sure you don't injure your knees here. Okay. And then we start going from above the head. So we can go a little bit like backwards stretch, which is a little bit abdominals, it's a little bit shoulders. Just go basic stretch back. And then with exhale, going all the way down with extended legs, and hang there for a couple of breaths. Really feel those glutes and hamstrings, lower back, even your shoulders. Head hangs heavy. And then slowly come up again when you inhale. Stretch overhead. And inhale again. Hands come up again. And exhale. One more time up. One more exhale. And while you're hanging your head down here, bring the racket behind your calves, your feet, and go into a deep squat and try to keep the racket as low as possible. So if possible, keep your heels down. If not, you can go on your toes a little bit. And in any case, you can go on your toes like last time I said, like you can also kind of like stretch your ankles a little bit this way. At least with me, they pop nicely here. And then come slowly up, lean forward, bring your arms overhead. And then straight up and lean backwards and bring your racket as far from the body as possible. And back to the heels. And overhead. And behind your back. One more round. Heels, deep squat. Overhead. And behind your back. Okay. All right. Bring your right foot over your left knee. And then lower your position until you feel the outer hip / glute stretch or stretching. So here you can use the racket as a little help or without the racket. And if you don't feel anything, which is, I guess, never a good thing if you feel nothing, you can press your elbow a little bit on your knee to get a bit more stretch out of it. All right, come slowly up, shake it off, and switch. Left foot on the right knee. And you can place your elbow on the knee if necessary. The bended knee, of course. And great balance there, Leaf. Whoa, this feels good. Okay, slowly back. Little shake again. Okay, racket above your head and sideways stretch. Little pump. 1, 2. 1, 2. And let's start making big rotations with the upper body. So as big as you can, horizontal, overhead. Oop, I already lost my balance. And back. So make sure you use your legs well to balance yourself and really engage your leg muscles. And then switch direction. Good. Okay. Shake your shoulders a little bit. And let's start lunging forward. So straight lunge, racket in front of your foot. Try to place it on the ground. Hold it for 1 or 2 seconds. Come back up. Switch the leg. Place the racket in front of your foot. And bit by bit, wherever you place the racket, make sure that with every step you have inch more. Every time when you come back down, there's a little bit more distance to your toes. So you're not only stretching from your glutes, you also stretch from your arms. You really make sure you're getting those arms, using those shoulders. Let's try to get as much distance as possible. Okay, we're gonna do 2 more each leg. So 2 on the right, 2 on the left. And then we're gonna do 4 each with the rotation. So same idea, but bring the racket on the side of the foot. So lunge, stretch, and twist. It's a little bit, let's say, more intense movement. So 4 each. That was my 3rd round. 1 more. Okay. All right. Let's do a little, actually the racket can go on the side for a sec. Let's rotate the arms. Let's do both at the same time. It makes it a little bit more intense when you can kind of like go with your body. So you kind of like have a counterweight. And when you go up with your arms, really make sure those shoulders are very close to your ear here every time. Get that extra stretch. Even touch your ears if you can. And then switch direction. Along your face, really close to your ears. And then let's see if you can go, 1 goes forward, 1 goes backwards. A little motorical extra. And then switch those 2 for the last one. All right, shake it off. Get the racket again. And let's start with the forearm, getting that little rotation going on. Just gently, not too much pressure or weight, not too fast. And then switch to left. And then let's go to the wrist area. Getting that wrist on, good. And then switch that direction, both ways. And then left side as well, or right side, the other arm. So everything is equally mobile. Okay, let's start with a small swing today and kind of like build it up to as big as it gets. Basic open stance. So the shot is just in front of you. And let's just start from correct grip, really feeling the racket is nicely on your hand. It's really smooth grip. You're not squeezing at all. And you just start to go left and right. So arm is having a very minimal movement. So you see my racket is pretty much in a horizontal line. So what I'm doing is after the shot on the backhand, I open the racket and I come back. So there's a little, let's say, flat 8 that you're making with the racket head. Very flat, actually, if you keep it like, keep it very horizontal. And start focusing on the timing to really feel the speed of the racket head is highest. So we're not going very fast, but still the highest speed, the peak is exactly in the middle. It's a very short, smooth, but still very sharp shot. And now we're going to start adding a bit of forearm movement. So the forearm is kind of rising up here, about the shoulder high here with your hand, and then the forehand, the same thing. So there and there. And same thing, focusing on not hitting hard, but having very sharp timing. So exactly when you get that acceleration, bam, that's when you have contact with the ball. And remember to keep your arm, especially the shoulder, nice and loose. Not more tension than is necessary. So the racket weight is really easy to feel. Looking good. And then let's add a little bit more height. So now from here, we bring that elbow about on the height of the shoulder. And the focus is still here. So this is where you kind of like have to step in with your muscles, especially the forearm, to do this acceleration movement. So what you do here now, that extra vertical backswing and the downswing or the back, yeah, I guess it's downswing with how you call it. You really don't start working with muscles there. So on both sides, you really try to feel that the gravity is just dropping your arm down. So it's very, very smooth and relaxed. So it can be almost like slow motion. And still, the racket is in the middle of the swing here, on the knee high between here in the middle. The racket head speed is really high. So it's really the technique that you're practicing here, getting the timing. Loose arm, you feel both of your shoulders are very, very nice and loose. And one thing I want to add here, and that will be a bit more, let's say, active core start. So when you start coming down, it's not that you use your shoulder or your arm to pull your racket down, but you start to do this movement here. Just a little bit of starting rotation on both sides at the same time when your racket drops. And that will give you a higher racket head speed. So it initiates the movement. Upper body, shoulder. You feel those abdominals, the core, the side of your body. It's working. Good. Oof, okay. Okay, let's start adding some movement here. And let's do the big swing on the backhand first. So the biggest, so we had like kind of 3 different sizes. We had the very short one, then let's say the basic swing from here. And then we had even the higher one here, the bigger backswing. So let's start with that one. So bring your hand above your shoulder height when you approach that backhand backswing, and then step in strongly. So get that body weight down. And as you can see, the line is pretty straight with foot, knee, and the shoulder, and head as well. So that's kind of like when you step in. And as soon as you land, you come down with that upper body rotation, getting that power from that coil, and then come back. So let's do a 2-step forward and then backing up. So 1, 2, full swing, coming back. 1, 2, full swing, come back. 1, 2, full swing. 1, 2, full swing, come back. 1, 2, full swing. 1, 2, and when you start approaching the wall with the first step, make sure you start really rotating your upper body, getting that backswing. You know, the backhand backswing, you need more rotation than on the forehand, just to get that racket behind the body. So exaggerate a little bit. It doesn't do you any harm if you rotate earlier or a little bit extra. That gives you that power, gives you that space to hit different shots. It gives you better options. And often when you have early preparation, it provides you better timing and balance. So you end up hitting more accurate shots. Good, okay. So same on the forehand side. And like I said, there's a slightly less rotation, normally speaking. Racket is already here without any kind of movement in the upper body. But still, I want you to do rotate. So when you step in with the first step, so with two-step approach, so if you're right-handed, you go right, left, traditional way, and obviously if you're left-handed, you go left, right. So with the first step, bring that front shoulder forward, bring that free arm forward, and that kind of leads you for the step and second step. Okay, let's go. So 1, 2, shot, and back. 1, 2, okay, my racket was late there. And bit by bit, we kind of like get into our own little world and really seeing the ball coming. You're looking at it, you're timing your shot, you're timing your weight shifting perfectly. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And the more aggressive lunge you make, the lower you get, the harder you work, obviously. And one more time. Okay. All right. Let's keep going straight away. No break in between. And without feet moving, let's just start doing volley approach. So we started with this one here. And it is kind of like very similar technically as if you would volley, because you have that very straight horizontal line about on the height of the ball. So normally you're a little bit under, obviously, because you need to get your racket under the ball. So let's lift that movement on the shoulder high level and keeping that open stance and then working with that coil. So you go backhand, you go forehand. And again here, obviously now when you lift your arm up, there is more shoulder tension, but again, the real movement really comes from the mid section of the body. So try to feel your shoulders kind of like listening or following the core movement. So the core starts and the shoulders follow. And when the shoulders follow, then the racket follows and the arm follows the shoulders. But you have to get that order right. That gives you the highest racket head speed and the best technique when you start with your trunk, with your midsection. All right, good. Okay, now we're going to combine those. So we're going to go to the, let's see how we're going to do it. Let's do the combination of hitting a forehand cross court. So it's the forehand lunge, and I'm going to do it a little bit diagonal. So if you have the space, you can go a little bit diagonal to the forehand front corner, hit that cross court, full swing, hard, wide cross court, then coming back. And when you push back, you already kind of look over your shoulder and bring your racket more to the left. And then you turn, and then you play the backhand straight volley, and you return. So forehand cross, backhand volley. Okay, 1 minute and go. So try to combine these shots in your head, how they work tactically. How do you play the cross court? How do you get that mid-court space back for the volley? So it needs to be wide, deep enough, high enough, or a combination of all those things, hard enough to force your opponent from the mid to the back, and then you volley the mid shot. Cross court, volley. Cross court, volley. Cross court, volley. Cross, volley. Cross, volley. Cross, volley. Cross, volley, and straight to the other side. So now we go to the backhand front corner. Bam. Racket stays up. Forehand volley. Backhand cross. Forehand volley. Backhand cross. Forehand volley. Cross. And volley. Cross. Volley. Cross. Volley. Cross. Volley. Cross. Volley. Cross. Volley. Cross. Volley. 20 seconds to go. Cross court. Volley. Cross court. Volley. Cross. Last 3 combinations. 1, 2, last combination, cross court and volley. All right, good. All right, so now let's stay with that mid-court theme and the volley theme in the middle, which is kind of like what you want to prefer and think about before the ball is even being hit. That you're kind of like always when you're in the middle of the court, obviously it matters a lot where your opponent is and how much time, what are his options. But your basic idea in the game, pretty much regardless of the level, is that you want to think of hitting the ball, let's say, close to your starting position. And this starting position obviously is in the middle of the court. So let's do some volleys only and start with that traditional movement first. So you go from the T point, you turn, you play a volley on the backhand, leave your outside, you have more space. If I were you, I would go almost all the way from wall to wall. And Abraham, you're inside, so for you, it's probably shuffle in place, step to the right, shuffle, step to the left. So you keep it a little bit more compact. So we're gonna go straight volleying, left, right, 1 minute. Okay. So pretty much these shots are often shoulder high. So you can kind of like do any shot, volley shot from knee high to above your head. So you can do all these different heights. And then I just see like how you adjust your swing. Like the higher the ball is, the less rotation you get from your upper body. Because you want to control the shot, obviously. You don't want to smash it too hard, lose balance. And turning step, turning step, turning step, turning step. 10 seconds. And time. Okay, then we go to the back corners. So we have a little marker in the middle. Let's call it the T point. And medium pace. And like we did Wednesday, I believe it was also a ball that is kind of, either it's not going all the way to the back, so it's kind of sitting back before the corner, just behind the T point, like behind the service box on each side, or it's higher, it's coming off the wall, it's coming off the back corner. So either way, what you're working on is the coil, rotating your upper body from distance, stepping in, using your body weight hitting a heavy shot, but taking a lot of time to finish it, then shuffling through the tee, same wind up here, and hitting the ball. So kind of like slow down a little bit before the swing, even though you hit hard. So it's a reaction, slow down, speed up. Reaction, slow down, speed up. So you get nice rhythm, fast, slow, fast. Okay, 1 minute, and go. Fast, slow, fast. So it's almost like a hold, or it's not almost like a hold, it is a hold with that big swing. See how you guys are doing. Keep going. Yeah, let the racket lead your way, Abraham. On the backhand, racket early. Racket early. Yeah, early rotation. Good. Okay. So now we're going to do the same wind up. So now it's going to be one side, front corner full swing, back corner full swing. Again, Lee, if you have space, use the space. And Abraham, if you don't have full space, which you don't, so you have to modify the movement a little bit. But ideally, you do the same prep, although you have different areas. So the front is kind of turning in, big swing, backhand, hitting the shot, coming back, shuffle, back corner, front corner. Oh, that was my board. And back corner. All right, so front, back, one side, 1 minute. Go. Winding up. So a lot of rotation with the upper body. And weight shifting. Really working on the technical department here. Getting that nice form, timing. Really good looking swing that makes your whole body work equally. Not rushing. You can hit hard, but it's not a rush shot. Sideways and forward. Nice slight shuffle in the middle and lunging in. We got 10 seconds. And forward. Back. Ooh, walls are too close here. And time. All right. One more to go. So now it's the other side. Forehand front corner. So you try to make that little corner there, not straight to the corner, but try to make that little turn to face more and more sidewall. Let's see here. And then getting that shot down, coming back up, wind up, and then the back corner. And go. So nice rhythm. Well-timed shots. Shuffle. 30 seconds. Turn in. Early prep. Nice time. Having time before you hit the ball. That's the nice thing about with the early preparation, that it gives you time. Now with the time, you can hold your opponent still. You can evaluate the situation, which shot to play. You have options. So give yourself that time with that early prep. And talking about time, it's time. Okay, get some water. Okay, now we're gonna work on a little bit more, let's say, heavier footwork. Again, within your possibilities and space, diagonal corners, front corner, back corner, and kind of like reaching at the front. So full stretch lunge, no swing, kind of like playing a counter drops or lob, whatever you can do with this little movement. So the ball is really far, so really full stretch. And as soon as you get back up with the shuffle, you turn and you lunge into the other corner. So use both legs. So you lunge in with left, turn, right, left, right. And leave. If you have more space, take a couple of more steps, reach it out. You don't have to go fully from front corner to back corner, but let's say 2 steps from the T point forward, 2 steps from the T point backward. So you have not one starting point for lunge, but it's a little bit wider area. Okay, so 1 minute, diagonal, go. And this is high paced. So you make it as fast as you can. So back corner, it's a boast. Front, lob, boast, lob, boast, lob, boast, lob. Try to find the rhythm in this one as well, even though it's more heavy and faster. Quick rotation, key point, upper body leads to rotational movement. And time. Okay. So the break is not going to be too long in between. So keep the pace high. The other 2 corners. Ready? Go. Front, back, front, back. Full lunge, alternation, right foot, left, right, left, right, left, right. Keep going, deep, forward, low position, get the body as far as you can. 5 seconds, come on. And time. Woo, good job. Little water. Okay, so next one is going to be a kind of, well, you can call it a hybrid. So we're going to go 90 seconds. So it's a little bit longer push. And in the 90 seconds, you have 3 different movements, and you count to 10. So you start with the diagonal one way. So you go hit the ball, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10. Then you do 10 toe jumps. You can hold the racket if you like. 10 toe jumps, and then you go 10 in the other diagonal. So front, back, front, back. So that's what we did. So in between, you always have those toe jumps. Okay? And I will keep track of the time. So we're going to keep going until 90 seconds. It's done. Ready? So diagonal 10 shots. So 1, 2. And obviously this is your own pace, so you don't have to listen to my counting. Just remember that you count to 10 every time. And then when you're done with the diagonal, then you go with the toe jumps 10 times. And then 10 diagonal on the other. And toe jumps in between. Oh. 30 seconds to go. Full speed, guys, come on. Time. All right. So 1 minute break. More water. And then return for a little extra fun. So grab your towel, just in case if you're sweating or starting to sweat. All right. Good. I'm going to do a little familiar four move session. So 4 minutes. And we're going to start with the reptile, obviously, the nicest of the block. So we got 5 seconds. Get ready. So into plank position. I give you another 10. Let's start when my second hand is at 12. So get into plank and reptile. 1 minute. Go. Knee to elbow. "20 seconds to go." And I tell you now already, keep going. We're going to go into an elbow plank after this with 10 pumps each foot. Almost there. And elbow plank. 10 pumps, foot or toes 2 inches off the ground. Now switch. 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 Halfway. "15 seconds. And knees up. skating jump. Lateral, upper body low, you're in the tunnel. Opposite hand touches the toes. Stay low. Not coming up at all, as slow as possible. Continuous glute burn. Quads are getting it as well. Try to be airborne between the jumps or between the steps. I know this is the fourth, but we're gonna go one more. Deep squat jumps. 1 minute. Jump up, guys. Make sure you're well airborne here as well. Use your upper body when accelerating vertically. Start to feel the glutes again. Good morning. Keep going, guys. Woo. Okay, a little break. Nice. That was a bit of burning on my end, at least. Nice. You are unbreakable. Okay, we're gonna do a little slower, more static round, and then gonna finish up with a bit of stretching, so a little bit easier today. Hope that sounds okay. Okay, so let's get ready. So 1 minute plank, straight arm plank with extension sideways and forward, T and I. Okay, ready? And go. This you can do really on your own pace. Rather go slower to feel the movement. You can make it more thoroughly. Extend. Make sure you keep your core tight when you extend your arm out. So try to keep your head still when possible, if possible. 15 seconds. And on your knees, slow motion push-ups. The feet up, cross your feet, lift them up, hands close to one another. And low down, low up. Oh, sorry, low and slow. Slower you go, the better it is in this one. Try to keep your elbows in. One more. Okay, on your back, elbow to knee. Alternation. Ready? Go. Keep going. Got another 15. Stand up. Slow-mo deep squat. Starting point here, end point here. Slowly back and forth. Keep the tension. Make sure your toes and knees pointing out a little bit. Keep the tension. Core is engaged, upper body straight. You really work with your quads here. If you go low enough, you might get some glute action as well. Make sure there's tension all the time. And sideways, skating jump. Touch the toes, upper body low. Come on, guys, we are on the good end here. Touch the toe. Free arm can go out on the side to balance you, or the front arm. Stay low. The whole body is engaged. Core is really strong. The lower you are, the more compact, the harder you work. Keep going. 30 seconds to go. Keep it going. Almost there. And deep squat jumps. Touch the ground. Get your palms on the ground. Next level is elbow. It'll take some time. Higher, guys. Higher. Come on. Push the last bit. Make your body work. Come on. We can do this. Time. Woo. All right, 1 minute break. Just to catch our breath. Ooh. Well done, guys. You don't even look tired. What's that all about? Let's hear you. Hear what you have to say. Mute.
Yeah. That was good. When I hear a little more static, I know I'm in for some fun.
Yeah. It's different kind of workout. It's really good job. So if you can you sit down, Leaf?
Yeah.
Yeah, sit down and start. Put your just straight legs in front of you, and if you can, grab your knees, your ankles, your toes, and start pulling and feel that stretch in your lower back. Let's start with that. Just focus on the lower back. So not the hamstrings yet. And you feel like it's kind of like getting a bit loose. Normally it looses up like after 15, 20 seconds a little bit. Get a little feeling of space. Muscle relaxes. And now we're warm as hell, so it should happen more easy. And then bit by bit start to help that stretch. So pull yourself further to start feeling those hamstrings. And even calves, like if you kind of pull, you can pull your toes, if you can grab your toes, pull them towards you so you feel the calf muscle at the same time stretching. But most importantly, lower back, just sitting, leaning forward is enough. Just make sure that area stays strong and lean. Because when that back area, that mid area gets tight, it very often affects the rest of the body so badly. And then you start to compensate and you start to get all kinds of little things left and right, not knowing even where it comes from. But the more you keep your core in form in terms of range of motion, so you do those stretches in your upper body, you do your planking, you keep your front as strong as your back. Mostly squash players have the backside is stronger. So you need to work on your hip flexors, your abdominals, really to balance that mid area. Speaking of rotation, so put one foot over the extended leg, let's say right over the left, and grab that bended knee, bended leg with the opposite arm, and start twisting your body. Look over your shoulder. Hold it there. Let's do a hold of 30 seconds here. Just breathe in really deep. Try to feel that when inhale in your outer glute when you stretch. You should feel it when you go full your lungs. When you exhale, you can do a little bit more twisting. And then switch the side, the other side. Foot over the extended leg and then grab your bended leg and knee. Look over your shoulder. And 30 seconds, deep breath. When you exhale, go a little bit further every time. So you can move that straight arm behind your back as well, a little bit further to make that shoulder help that shoulder to rotate and turn. Good. Okay, let's do one more stretch together. That's going to be the hip flexor. If you have a special way to do it, you can do that, or you can try this basic one. So if you need support, you can use your one arm to support from your chair or wall, and then grab your ankle behind the back. And if you do have the balance, you can try to go with both arms so it gets a little bit more intense, and try to bring your hip forward. This is the area that normally gets so tight with me. Like I told you before, when I started to do a little bit more yoga in a class or by myself, I realized that my muscles are not getting that tight anymore. So definitely, and it's not that having that one muscle group loose and stretchy, but it's the balance. Everything works together. Okay, loose, shake it off and switch the leg. Last stretch. And for some people, especially now after workout, muscles are so warm that this might not do it. So you might want to go on the ground and on your knees and then do this, and then that might be a more intense and better option. Okay. And slowly bring your feet down. Not bad for a Friday afternoon.